Am I the asshole for making my daughter sleep in a tent? I, 34F, am a single mother to 2 girls, Jasmine, 16F, and Jessica, 14F. Their dad died when I was pregnant with Jess, and I had to work hard. We hit rock bottom, and I was barely making paycheck to paycheck, but I managed to get a degree, become successful, and we live well. Point is, I know how fucking hard it is to be at the bottom of society, and my daughters know this, which is why I was livid at my daughter's actions. Yesterday, Jasmine showed me a video of Jessica cussing a homeless man out and telling him, "Stop asking me for money, you'd earn it yourself if you weren't so fucking lazy and spending what you earned on substances." When the homeless man complained about the cold, "We live in Nay, England," Jessica responded, "Yeah, people camp for fun. Even in December, you can't complain, you're living someone's holiday." Fury was an understatement for what I felt, as I thought I had raised an empathetic daughter. Along with finding the homeless man and making her apologize and help pay for a hotel room for a night for him, she paid £20, as well as signing her up to volunteer at a food bank. I decided to take her up on her offer of sleeping outside. I locked her bedroom door so she couldn't go in, put a sign on it saying closed for the holidays, pitched a tent in the garden and filled it with blankets and the sleeping bag I used when I was camping in Norway on a family holiday as a teen, aka really bloody thermal. I slept in the room closest to the garden for that night so I was nearby if anything was to go wrong. She was reluctant to do it, but chose it over the option of not having access to her phone until the Christmas holidays are over. In the morning, she was crying about how horrible it was to wake up on a cold mat and get disrupted sleep due to birds. After comforting her, I asked her would she like to do that every day like the homeless man. It struck a chord with her and she was crying over her actions, while even after the £20 she was rolling her eyes and her apology was not sincere. This afternoon, I came home from work to Jessica making a big meal to donate to the homeless people who live on the road near our house. I was proud of how she turned over a new leaf, and after taking the food to the people, my sister came over. Apparently, my nephew and Jessica were talking at school, and he asked her about her plans for the afternoon, and she said that she was going to cook for the homeless. My nephew asked what triggered that, and Jess told him everything, which he relayed back to his mum. My sister said that my punishment was too harsh, and just the £20 and the food bank would have done the trick, and I was acting irrationally due to my past. Now I'm second-guessing myself. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Sounds like the apology and £20 wasn't enough. Walking a mile in their shoes taught her empathy. Not the asshole. You did a good thing here. You weren't being cruel or unusual in any way. You provided her blankets and a warm sleeping bag and you didn't force her to do anything, you gave her the option to camp or lose her phone. She clearly learned the lesson and feels genuine remorse. You should be proud of how you handled the situation and proud of your daughter for changing her ways. This is solid gold, full score fantastic parenting. Especially because you weren't trying to simply punish her, you were ensuring she experienced what it is she was abusing the man who was homeless for. It's such an important lesson. Sometimes even if we think we're raising empathetic children, it's hard to learn without experience. Also, you now know it worked out because of your daughter's reaction and thoughtfulness afterwards. Good for you, and good for Jessica. It's lovely to know there's a bit more empathy in the world now. Edit. Forgot to add not the asshole. Not the asshole. The proper cold weather outdoor camp gear and you staying within view from the garden window made this a safe way to teach your daughter some perspective. It worked wonders. Be proud of yourself. OMG. Your kids are going to turn into the most amazing adults. Keep doing what you're doing. What an amazing mother. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Good on you for teaching your daughter a lesson. I hope the homeless guy is okay, he is the victim in this story. It must have been horrible for him, but a hotel stay may have done him good. Not the asshole, you found a way to show your daughter a different way of thinking without vilifying her. And clearly if she's decided she wants to go out of her own way to help the homeless, now your lesson worked, which means your parenting works. You aren't forcing her to continue that behavior, the consequence was for one night and you handled it well. The fact that your daughter had such a change of heart says you're doing a great job as a mom. Don't second-guess yourself, it was a good call. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and your sister needs to mind her own business. But the older girl should be in the tent too. She filmed it instead of stopping it. I love you for what you did. Your daughter's actions hurt me emotionally, but you chose a solution to help everybody involved. Not the asshole. Your punishment was a creative solution that taught a lasting lesson. Not the asshole. Holy hell, if I did the same thing, I would have been lucky if I even got the tent, my mother would have said to make a lean-to. Sadly, a lot of people are a few missed paychecks to bring homeless. Was this harsh? Maybe. But would she have learned the same lesson about empathy and basic compassion? Oh come on op, you are harvesting karma. You clearly did it all right and helped your daughter become a better person, how is it not obvious? Not the asshole. This is similar to what my father would do if I acted that way, and as a family we have not been in nearly the situation you have pulled yourself from. You called her bluff on the fake apology and gave her a choice, phone or camping. She chose to stand her ground on her words and learned her lesson. Personal humility is a good thing. Certain kids, me included, need to learn things the harder way for it to hit home. This will stick with her in a good way, for the long term. Don't worry about your sister, she isn't just parent. Number 14-year-old girl says, spending it all on substances. Everyone sucks here and this story sounds quite fake. Not the asshole. She did something horrible, and your punishment may have been harsh but it seems to have really proven the point. Damn. I read this expecting to say YTA, but after seeing that your daughter was perfectly warm enough and safe, I'm going to have to go with not the asshole. And I actually think that what you did was a brilliant way of making your daughter put herself in that homeless person's shoes. Sometimes people need to experience something firsthand so they can empathize, and your daughter has learned a valuable lesson here. Well done to both of you. She admitted that she was wrong, and that takes a lot of guts. A definite not the asshole. I can't believe people think this is real. Info. Was the homeless man harassing your daughter and scaring her, or did he ask for some spare change once and she went off on him? I don't think your punishment was too harsh. If she was defending herself and trying to get the guy to leave her alone, I don't think she deserved any punishment at all. However, if the guy just said, "Can you spare some change?" and she responded by flying off the handle, then she definitely deserved it. Either way, I'm glad she has developed an understanding of the difficulty of being homeless and wants to help. Not the asshole. This is your child. It is your responsibility to raise her to be a decent human being. What she did to that poor man was unacceptable and the punishment you gave her was very fitting. Plus, it is not your sister's business how you raise your children. Not the asshole. It does sound kind of extreme at first blush, but it sounds like it was proportional to her attitude. The money and the food bank did not do the trick of having her actually consider what it's like to be in that man's shoes, and clearly sleeping in a tent in the cold did. I have doubts about this. People don't just see the error of their ways. Ooh. Stuff like this doesn't happen. People get pushed in the opposite direction. Not the asshole. Young people need to learn how to see other people's perspectives. Kids growing up not knowing how to see what others are going through become very entitled. I applaud you for finding a non-harmful way to make her see how it feels, and I am also very proud of her for seeing how her actions were wrong and trying to correct them. Sounds like the punishment is 100% going to help her in the long run and she's already improving, which is awesome. Sister is the absolute NTA. Your daughter learned her lesson and chose to do better. You did the right thing. Sounds like you know the answer to this, why are you even posting here? Info. You talked about how you pulled yourself up by your bootstraps. Is it possible that your daughter might have gotten the attitude that people just need to work more from you? It seems like a weird thing for a 14-year-old to do without any influence, intend or not, from somewhere. If you have learned her that everyone can manage if they only work enough, I would place the blame a bit on both of you. It might not have been intentional from your side, but she might have interpreted your words or actions that way. Ha 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 ha. This didn't happen. Not the asshole. This is good parenting. You managed to help your daughter see past her own views and find empathy. It's a hard lesson, yes. Sometimes it's a necessary lesson to become a better person. I don't see this as much different than me taking away my kids' electronics when they turn into entitled jerks as teens sometimes do. That being said, you turned on this faucet. Prepare for the flood. Encourage her to do other things as well to make her a well-rounded individual. Not the asshole. You did a good thing. It really drove home what you were trying to tell her. Learning a little empathy is never a bad thing. If a parent on Reddit were to seek advice, they'd go on a parenting sub. I think any parent that needs to go on Am I the Asshole for advice needs to get tested. This is fictional. You are the asshole. This sub is just straight up cheesy fiction now. So there's something off with this story. Who recorded this and why? Also, the bigger issue is you've brought up a child that would even utter these words to a homeless person, or be callous enough to allow herself to be recorded. You are the asshole for humblebragging on this subreddit. The fact that you realize the $20 and apology didn't do anything and change the punishment so that she could live one night in the homeless life. Not the asshole. Not the asshole by a long shot. The fact that she quickly turned around and changed her tone about it shows that you're not an asshole. Am I the only one feelin' like that happened? Not the asshole. You parented and she seems to have really learned a lesson from it, so great job. Not the asshole at all. This was an awesome punishment. You are helping mold your daughter into an empathetic young woman. Good on you. FYI, food bank volunteers don't typically appreciate parents signing up kids as punishment. Not the asshole. She did something really horrible, so she deserves a punishment. Not the asshole. The way she treated that homeless man sounds terrible, and that was just what you saw on camera. Whatever it took for you to make her turn over a new leaf is the right choice. Not the asshole. Good parenting. Now, if you could just do something about your sister. She was reluctant to do it, but chose it over the option of not having access to her phone until the Christmas holidays are over. This is brilliant. Maybe someone could argue you were the ass if you forced this punishment onto her, but she had the choice and made it and learned a valuable lesson as a result. You're not just not the asshole, you could teach a few parents I know how to properly educate their kids. That's what you made this, an educational experience to learn and grow from instead of just a punishment to be endured. Not the asshole. I don't even really know why you're asking when your daughter clearly isn't angry with you over the punishment and it's had a positive impact on her behavior. Not the asshole. You, ma'am, are a queen. That's as fake as it gets. Not the asshole. I applaud your parenting skills. Not the asshole. This is A+ parenting. It's pretty drastic for your daughter to have that much anger and disdain towards someone who literally just needs a home. The problem called for drastic measures. You stayed close to her to know she was safe, and you provided her with way more than any homeless person would ever get to make sure she stayed safe. Some lessons are dishes best served cold face. Not the asshole. You're awesome, please be my mum too.